What is up, my friends? It is Thursday evening and you are very welcome along to one of the busiest transfer news roundup videos that I've ever made. I like to keep these videos between 8 and 10 minutes and I'm going to struggle today because there is a lot to go through. So, what have we got coming up? Well, we're going to be discussing Darwin Núñez, Anthony Gordon, Alexander Isak, Florian Wirtz. We're going to be discussing Jarell Quansah and lots more. So, I'm not going to hang around. Do scan that QR code if you want the news before we make videos or any content. You can join our WhatsApp group completely free of charge. Just scan that QR code on the screen and join the almost 6,000 other Reds who've joined the family, right? Let's get moving. We're going to start off with a report from Fabrizio Romano about Darwin Núñez and Napoli. Napoli are preparing one more round of talks for this week, he said, and hope to make some progress in it. There are other clubs still interested from Saudi, but Napoli, he said, still trying. Now, all very well and good, them coming to an agreement with Darwin Núñez or not, but they're also going to have to come to an agreement with Liverpool over a transfer fee. And currently, well, it seems like they're a little bit off where Liverpool want to be. So we'll keep an eye on this one. But Florian Wirtz, well, what do we know? Well, we know that he was in a Volkswagen black van at Cologne Airport, getting ready to fly over for the first part of his medical. He will, of course, land in, well, a few hours at this point. So make sure you're with us tonight at 8:45. We'll give you the very latest. But what we can say is Florian Wirtz is on his way to Liverpool to complete a record £116 million transfer. Now, here's something you did not expect that I was going to say today, and we'll talk about this a little bit later on tonight. Let's just say, have a look at Mighty Red's Twitter handle. Just have a look at Mighty Red's account on X, and then you'll know where we're going with this one. But more on that tonight. Well played, by the way. Well played, Mighty Red. So, Harvey Elliott, let's talk a little bit about him for a minute. So, this piece here said, given the prices being quoted for other players in similar positions, Liverpool are seeking a fee for Harvey Elliott of around £40 million this summer. Now, I'd seen Stan Collymore speaking about Wolves' interest in him and saying that he doesn't think he's worth the 40 million. A package of about 30 million might be fairer. Well, that's all very well and good, but Harvey Elliott has interest from multiple Premier League clubs. And you know what? I think Liverpool will get close to that £40 million valuation. And I also think somebody will get a very good footballer in Harvey Elliott. So let's wait and see. We'll keep you up to date with it. Florian Wirtz, now Romano, again, like The Athletic, is saying that he's going to earn in the region of £200,000 per week at Liverpool with bonuses to go on top of that. So that's pretty good, to be fair, for a British record signing coming in on a basic salary of £200,000 a week or just over £10 million a year, plus bonuses. Paul Gore said Wirtz is expected to officially become a Liverpool player on Friday after completing a medical to seal the £116 million switch from Bayer Leverkusen. Now, let's stay with Bayer Leverkusen because even Sky Sports are now reporting that Bayer Leverkusen are in talks to sign Liverpool defender Jarell Quansah. Active negotiations are ongoing. Regular viewers of our channel will know that yours truly has been saying that this is going to happen for 6 or 8 weeks now. So you're in the right place, like we say. You probably won't see us ever get the nod on these things, but despite what was being reported that Liverpool didn't want to sell him, I told you that what I was hearing was that Liverpool are absolutely open to selling Jarell Quansah. The price tag, well, we'll move on to that one in a minute because it is going to be a substantial one. Kicker have said talks regarding the signing of Jarell Quansah are ongoing. The deal, if it goes through, will represent a record transfer for Leverkusen from Kicker. So again, you're talking about a decent amount of money here. Quite how much? Well, we believe Liverpool are asking in and around £40 million for Quansah, but more on that in a moment. So, Paul Gorst now speaking about ISAK, the story that just will not go away. It's been suggested that the Magpies are not totally convinced they can tie down their talisman, Alexander Isak. So like I'm saying, everybody is starting to come on board this story now. And look, again, this is one that I did not think was going to be on our bingo card this summer. Isak actually potentially coming to Liverpool, but everybody's starting to talk about this. And Liverpool are obviously getting some encouragement from somewhere here because if the lads at the Echo are talking about it, if other journalists are talking about it, there has to be something to it. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen because truly I do not know, but it's exciting, right? Don't tell me it's not exciting. So, Quansah has opened doors to joining Bayer Leverkusen, said Fabrizio Romano, while other clubs are also in direct contact. After Wirtz and Frimpong deals are completed, Bayer and Liverpool are again going to start negotiating for Jarell Quansah. I did say to you guys that my understanding was that the manager doesn't fully believe in Joel QUANSAH at the minute and that he will be sold this summer. So keep an eye on this one. Should Liverpool receive any encouragement for Alexander ISAK, said Graham Bailey, Liverpool are likely to make their move for the Newcastle striker. Now, just imagine for 1 minute, we have a window where Frimpong comes in, Kerkez comes in, Wirtz comes in. We'll move on to the centre-back position in a minute because there has been a name today on that one, and it isn't the one we spoke about yesterday, although don't rule that one out either. So now we're talking about potentially ISAK and then the centre-back. Ladies and gentlemen, I think I can go out on a limb here and say if Liverpool can pull all of those deals off and not lose anybody significant, just give us the league title at this point, honestly. I'm never that arrogant, but how can anybody compete with that if Liverpool pull off all of those deals? Now, on to the centre-back. Dave O.C. Kopp said, Mark Guéhi, possible QUANSAH replacement. Another factor that faces Mark Guéhi's favourable light would be the fact that he's classed as a homegrown player, which is important. We've often mentioned that we do need to keep an eye on that. When we spoke about Nathan Collins yesterday, we were saying a similar thing. Now, Mark Guéhi had been somebody who I mentioned that Liverpool had some reservations on about his aerial dominance because he's only 6 foot. Only 6 foot. I know I'd kill to be 6 foot, but there you go. But maybe they've reevaluated. He's 1 year to go in his Crystal Palace deal, so Liverpool may look at this and feel like there's value to be had in it. Newcastle, we know, were interested in Mark Guéhi in the past as well. So keep an eye on that one. Keep an eye on the Nathan Collins situation. But there's been more than one journalist today speaking about Mark Guéhi, and again, we'll move on to that one in a little while. Right, let's read you out this from Lee Ryder, and again, it's going to take me a moment, so bear with me. I personally think that Newcastle or any other club would find it hard to turn down £150 million for any player if that is the price on the table. It's an astronomical amount of money, and if Liverpool were to really back up speculation, I think it turns into one of the biggest transfer sensations in world football very quickly. I always go back to CEO Darren Eales admitting on record on a Zoom call that every player has his price. I've mentioned that to you guys as well because, well, it is true. Every player does have their price. He goes on to say, if he is privy to conversations from the powers that be at Newcastle, then it feels like it could be done, yes. Would it be popular? Of course not. Would it take a high-level replacement to pacify the supporters? Maybe. Then you think about the player. If he wants to move and his head is being turned by the sway of crazy money, it will be hard to stop them. Isak's agent will be pushing for him to be on better money, but he remains under contract for 3 more years. So keep an eye on this one. Anthony Gordon, Dave O.C. Kopp reporting that Liverpool are continuing talks, continuing being the key word there, to sign Anthony Gordon from Newcastle. The player is keen to join, but it may only happen if the Reds can move on the likes of Diaz and Jota. Like I've mentioned before, he might not be the most popular name in the world, but when I've told you guys about the interest in Anthony Gordon, it's always been genuine. Lewis Steele reporting Mark Guéhi could be considered an option for Liverpool at centre-back. 1 month ago, Sammy Mockbell from the BBC said ISAK would be intrigued by the prospect of joining Liverpool. Fabrizio Romano said there is now a feeling between English clubs that Frankfurt could be prepared to accept less than £84 million for Hugo Ekitike, maybe something more like £68 to £76 million. So again, keep an eye on that situation. Then we had Florian Plettenberg saying Wirtz has arrived at Cologne Bonn Airport with his family and is now heading to England. Part 1 of his medical is expected to be completed later today, if possible, with the medical to be finalised on Friday. Back to Darwin Núñez. DiMarzio has said Liverpool striker Darwin Núñez is believed to be open to Napoli this summer. The Serie A champions have begun work towards a deal for the Uruguay international, but are not willing to pay Liverpool's valuation of £60 million or €70 million. It is understood the Premier League champions will listen to offers for Núñez this summer. We will, but I think again they're going to have to come up a little bit from their valuation of about €50 million. Liverpool hold an interest in Mark Guéhi as Leverkusen step up their Joel QUANSAH pursuit, writes Paul Gorst. No, excuse me, my apologies, Mr. Gorst. You did say it, but this one was Paul Joyce, sorry. But there you can see another top-tier journalist now speaking about 1, QUANSAH may be getting sold, and 2, Mark Guéhi being of interest. Now, I have to say, this would be a bit of a step back from what we've heard about Mark Guéhi in the past. Speaking with journalists in the past, I've been told that Liverpool were not fully convinced because of that aerial thing, but maybe they deem now there's value with 1 year to go on his Crystal Palace deal, so keep an eye on this situation, it could move quickly. Bayer Leverkusen are ready to test Liverpool's resolve to keep QUANSAH, writes Chris Bascom, with the Bundesliga side considering a formal bid. Liverpool are not proactively looking to sell QUANSAH, but an offer in the region of £40 million could tempt them. So again, bit of double speak there. We're not actively looking to sell somebody, but if you give us this amount of money, well then, you know, he's for sale. So I think we can take it that he's for sale. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it for now. Already gone past 10 minutes and I've flown through those stories. So tonight, I need you here, 8:45, late night agenda. It's Vert's time. It's time to look ahead to tomorrow. We'll give you the very latest on all of these deals and lots more. But if you want it quickly, like I mentioned, join the Anfield Agenda WhatsApp channel and it will be yours very quickly. Don't forget though, check out Mighty Red's account. We'll discuss it later. Much love.